Hello and welcome to another anime lore video, and this time we will take a closer look at Mushoku Tensei, the OG grandfather of modern isekai, and how Rudeus was hated and feared by Lillia, the maid of Paul Greyrat's household, and why Rudeus not only saved the life of the maid, but also the way how she saw Rudy. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And now with that said, let's start with the reason why Lillia felt such a great amount of animosity and, dare I say it, disgust for this newborn baby. Lillia correctly identified the facial expressions of the very young Rudeus as lecherous and lustful, and this deeply disturbed Lillia. I mean, it's a child we are speaking of, and they should be innocent. And therefore Lillia feared that Rudy was possessed by some sort of demon or evil entity. And she was somewhat right, if we take into account that Rudy was at this point a 30-year-old something man reincarnated into the body of an infant child. So make of this what you will. But Lillia's hunch and her fears were more or less spot on. So the relationship between both were not easy and stayed strained for a couple of years, until Lillia had a horny affair with the head of the Greyrat household, Rudeus' new father Paul, who was also the loving husband of Zenith, Rudy's mother. And let me be clear, Lillia started the affair and seduced Paul, and being a maid and seducing her boss, a noble nonetheless, was not only a taboo thing in this world, but also incredibly risky, since when the affair became undeniable because Lillia became pregnant, she now knew that her days in the Greyrat household were numbered. After Paul cheating on Zenith with Lillia, Zenith would not allow the maid to stay, and Lillia knew this, and she also felt very guilty. Now, and I have to say this, Paul is also guilty in all of this. While he had been seduced by Lillia, he risked his very marriage and the future of his own son by mindlessly agreeing to Lillia's invitation. And he definitely should have just kept his short sword within his hilt. But when everything came to light, Lillia couldn't stay in the house any longer, because Zenith, of course, did not want the woman who seduced his very husband into betraying her in the house anymore. And Lillia knew this, and her guilty consciousness made her wanting to leave for her family's home, once the child had been born. And this course of action would likely have killed Lillia and her infant, because traveling for a month in the middle of winter with a newborn child to care of was frankly suicidal. And this is where Rudy came to the rescue, because he simply blamed the whole affair on Paul, who, according to Rudeus' lie, was the one who not only initiated the affair, but also used his authority as a nobleman and as the head of the household and as Lillia's employer to have his way with the maid. Again, this was a false accusation. Both of them were guilty of this affair, and Lillia's excuse of her just being turned on from hearing Zenith and Paul's nocturnal activities at night were, frankly speaking, pathetic. Nonetheless, Rudy knew that he needed to somehow make Lillia appear to be the innocent victim of circumstances in order for Zenith to forgive Lillia for the affair, which again Rudy achieved by falsely blaming everything on his horny father. And now, seizing this opportunity created with his lie, Rudy now said that he did not want Lillia gone, or even worse, his half-siblings, to be gone and dead. And this plea from the child, again another at least from Zenith's point of view innocent actor, was finally enough so that Lillia could stay within the Greyrat family and raise the kids and half-siblings of Rudy under the same roof. So Rudeus has saved Lillia's life and that of her infant kids, and finally Lillia came around and accepted Rudeus as a still strange but nonetheless good human being. As for Paul, the next few months of his life were a living hell thanks to Zenith's somewhat unjustified wrath. And I have to say, I like this morally grey way of storytelling Mushoku Tensei does here. There's no clear evil one who just needs to be blamed and punished, but it was a complex situation that was solved with a pretty harsh lie in order to save the life of 2 kids. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching. Please leave your usual comments and thoughts and ideas about the video topic and of course the video itself down in the comment section.